Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Let me say that again. Really listen to this. I know it's a quote that you've probably heard before. Stay curious with me here. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Why is this so powerful? It's because the important word in that entire phrase, it isn't can or can't. It's think. Henry Ford didn't say whether you do or don't. He didn't say whether you're prepared or you're not. He didn't say whether you have the skills or you don't. He didn't even say whether you have the tools or you don't. No. He said whether you think you can or you think you can't. Ford understood something that most people might never understand in their entire lifetime. Your belief is the steering wheel of your results. Your thinking, the way you think about things, the way you think about the things that you would really like to experience in life, or the things that you really want to experience in life, the way you think about those determines your behavior, your effort, your consistency, or the amount of persistence that you're willing to engage in, your creativity, your problem-solving ability, your courage. All of these are affected just by the way you think about something. When you believe something's possible, even just barely possible, then your brain immediately opens up, and you'll notice that energy increases. Courage begins to show up. You start looking for new ways to do things. You even find things that were right in front of you that you never saw before. Now, if you believe something isn't possible, then what happens then? You shut down immediately. It's like if I believe that I can open this door and I'm looking at this closed door, if I believe I can open it, then automatically the door is open a little bit. It's at least unlocked, which allows new possibilities to happen, which allows me to think about how I can open the door. But as soon as I decide that the door is closed and that's not for me, even if it's something I really want, like I really want to open that door, then I shut down before I even try. Same person, same abilities, same possibilities, different thinking, different results, different thinking, different life. Henry Ford failed multiple times before founding Ford Motor Company. But he believed in the idea of mass production, and everybody else called it insane. They just didn't believe in it. Another quote of his that I really love, he once said, "Obstacles are those frightful things that you see when you take your eyes off the goal." Think about that. Obstacles are the frightful things that you see when you take your eyes off the goal. When you get so committed, when you have clarity, and you get so committed to accomplishing your goals, it doesn't mean those frightful things aren't still there. You just don't see them as much. You don't pay attention to them as much. You don't give them so much weight. You don't give them so much importance because you know where you're going. And because Ford knew where he was going, he changed in the industry. And it all started with a thought and the way that he thought about this thing that he wanted to achieve. So what he's really saying here is, like, if your mind thinks that something is possible, your actions will eventually make it possible. Where if your mind thinks something is impossible, your actions won't even try. They won't even take the first step. Thinking is the gatekeeper, because you won't start what you don't believe in. You won't show up with consistency if you don't believe in something. You won't fight for something that you don't believe is yours. Belief is like gasoline. It fuels the fire, where doubt is like a parking brake. And most people spend their entire lives with the parking brake on. I want you to think about your life for a second. Where are you saying, I can't do that? I'm not ready yet. I don't know if I can pull it off. Who am I to do something like this? because that's thinking. It's not fact. And then just flip the script. Where could your life go if you simply replaced, I don't think I can with, I think I can, I just need to get started. You'll notice how the energy changes. When you think you can, you're more willing to take steps towards that thing. And if you continue to take more steps, the level of participation that you're willing to put in increases. So how different would your income, your health, your relationships, your confidence, your business, your identity, like how different would those things look in 6 months? How about a year? How about in 5 years? And the only thing that changed was a belief, because the belief drives everything else. Nothing in your life will change until your thinking changes. And the moment your thinking begins to shift, everything else begins to follow. So today, I want you to ask yourself, where have I been telling myself that I can't? And what happens if I decide right now that maybe I can? Because either way, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, hit the like button, and leave me a comment below. I'll see you on the next one. This is your moment.